you know, when the weeks go by, you kind of forget what day actually exists. So, yeah. Hi. Week 7. Done with transfer number 1. Official transfer number 1, at least. It's kind of interesting how I'm doing a week 7. Wait. This is week 6. Oh, suck. I don't know which one's which. Ah! But, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think this is week 7. I think this is week 7. I don't know. The title of this video would either be 6 or 7. Alright, so this week it was kind of slow. It was more of an eye opener to me. A lot of things that I realized. Let me see. A lot of things that happened this week, even though it was a little slow, really was more of an eye opener. So, nothing much happened Monday after dinner, came back, all that stuff after everything else that happened. And then Tuesday, I have the journal right here because I forget all these days how they work. All these days like to mush together. It was a longish day because not a lot of the people we visited were home, except for Sister Huckabee. I read the Book of Mormon with her again. We also did a gas station run, and we apparently we have this Book of Mormon class that's not been very successful here. And so we were like, let's just plan for it in case people show up. So we worked for Jacob 5. And for those who don't know what's in Jacob 5, it's the allegory of the olive tree. Allegory is like something that it's like a parable, but you can't go too deep because it's that simple type thing. It's a long chapter, but it's really good. It's really good. I like how the words go out with the trees and the branches and people and all that. Then tried visiting another person, but they weren't home. And then came back home, just sent out texts, sent a daily contact and all that stuff. Then we realized we're kind of out of detergent because we were planning on doing a few things, and we're like, shoot, we don't have detergent, so we went to go get detergent, came back, and then we went to the church, and because that's where the activities were going on, and no one showed up for the class. We're like, okay, well, it's also Sister Yeager's birthday today, so she said she also wanted us to come over and visit her on her birthday, so let's do that. So we drove all the way up to Lamar. We actually ran into Georgia on the way, and we talked with Georgia for a little bit because she was outside in the truck kind of just waiting as her mom took Lisa in. And we just talked with her for a little bit, checked up on her, planned on meeting with her Thursday, and then they came out, and so then we went inside, talked with these, had TV dinners, is what they call it. It's those, like, throw it in the microwave for, like, 3 minutes to come out. I never called it TV dinners. I don't even know what I actually call them. I just knew they're, like, little easy-make dinners things. They just throw them in the thing, come out, and they're done. But they call it TV dinners, so, yeah, it makes sense. But it wasn't a great day for her because of a doctor appointment that didn't go out too well. but she's a great person. She really is. Then we had to late because not this Sunday, but the last Sunday was a little weird because one of the zone leaders got transferred, which we found out later to Midtown. So yeah, and so we weren't able to do call-ins then, but when we were driving back Tuesday, we got a new zone leader. So there's two, and one of them stayed, and so we got another one, and we had call-ins from them Wednesday. It was a pretty good day, slow, I guess. We did our studies. Birdie canceled, dropped on us. She was busy and all. That sucks, but we're working with her as best we can. And we went to Sonic. The usual. Those wings, those buffalo wings. You people probably think I'm crazy, but they're good. Okay, that's all I just gotta say. So we've also visited the Morrisons. Brother Roswell was actually there doing some mailbox work for them. There's a lot of people there regarding like different families. Brother Roswell and Brother Hardman. That was interesting. And then we tried stopping by another place. No one was home. And we're like, okay. So then we went up to the Hardmans a little bit early, kind of rested because we were both kind of just dead. This workout here just drains us, but we keep doing it because we love it. We got the final lesson done with Unique and Maricus, and they're planning on getting baptized October 13th. So excited for that. And that's going to be our first convert baptism. Well, yeah, it's going to be exciting. We had dinner at President Hull's house. We had pasta. Even though I like pasta. And we visited Sister Taylor. We gave her a blessing and got cake. So that was cool. Pretty interesting. Thursday, this is where the week gets kind of slow, but more of the eye-opener stuff starts to happen. We were going to lunchtime now. We were gonna go to Wendy's, right? We park at Wendy's. We get a call from Gary, and he's like, hey, "You guys ate yet?" And we're like, "No." He's like, "We got burgers. You want some?" And I just kind of just sat there. It's like, of course you'd call us. I didn't say it out loud, but I was like, you call us now. Fine, we'll go. And so we went up all the way to Lamar, had burgers, and there was a lot of people. Good, I like to call it the crew, but had a few people there that I haven't met before that do farm work up there. And they were working on a thing called a bush hogger. Basically, it's a large lawnmower thing. So that was interesting to see what a bush hogger is, because I've heard bush hogging before in farming, but I never knew what it did. And then we visited someone named Judy Bird, and it was nice talking with her. She was babysitting. I keep forgetting it. I forgot the name, but she was a cute little baby. We tried visiting someone else because they were sick, but no one answered. And we visited for the hills for a little bit. and talked about like schooling, and weird Common Core stuff that no one really likes. Had dinner on Maki's. I helped a member with their phone to get the calendar going to show that the Book of Mormon class and all that stuff. And we weren't able to visit Georgia or Mike. They had to end up pushing it till Friday because of just time and whatever. Well, not on our time, but a lot of things on their end. So we're like, okay, we can work tomorrow. Not a big deal. So Friday. Oh, Friday. We did the animal shelter again. I don't know if I talked about Chong before. He's a black lab and something else. But he finally got sent out to Homeward Bound. It's just a group where he finally gets a home type thing. So, yay for him. It was a struggle getting the dogs out. It's just what happens. We had lunch at Wendy's. Amanda wasn't there, so we're like, okay, so we just had lunch and then head out. We came back. I had a really good planning lesson to figure out what the heck needs to happen with this branch and how we can help them in any way that we can. And we feel like we can get Amanda baptized in October, and that's a lot. That's this month. So, if such case is, he's almost done with the Book of Mormon. Actually, we're hoping to get it done, but we're hoping he gets it done by today. So, hopefully we can get that done. Then, after we tried visiting Lois, we caught her at a bad time again. She's always on the move. She's like, "You caught me in the wrong time again, boys," and we're like, "Yep, we realized that." She's like, "Just keep trying, though." So we're like, "Yep, we will." And then tried visiting Benjamin, but no one answered. But we decided to drive. We had to go up to Byhalia because that's where we had dinner. But ended up we not be able to have dinner at their house because Brother Hardman had to leave out of town a little more earlier than expected. And so they got a Subway, which was pretty good. We started at the gas station, and then we started having a conversation. And I forgot how the conversation actually started, but with them, something about Elder Berghoff saying, "You're self-conscious about that." And I'm like, I kind of sat there and just kind of thought about it. Then I realized something that I never really realized before. I'm a lot more self-conscious about things than I really think I am about myself and just what I do. And I literally went on I talked for like 30 minutes about everything as to probably why I'm so self-conscious. And for some reason I almost wanted to cry the entire time. I don't know. But it was interesting, to say the least. It's just really an eye-opener, I guess. Elder Bringerhoff gave me good advice. I love the guy. He's great. He's in the shower right now, but he's an amazing guy. Love him. Then after all that, we finally were able to see Mike. Talked a little bit about lesson 5, which was technically supposed to be after baptism, but you can do that lesson if needs be type thing before. And then we got in a conversation about this guy named Ray Stevens. Never heard of him, but then it was interesting to say the least. A very interesting Christian comedian. He's actually still alive. And then another eye-opener thing when we visited Georgia Friday. And then we were talking about how we only had 2 meals to Georgia, and then she rattled out to her mom and she gave us like this and whatever. She's like, I'll get you more stuff next time. I was like, oh, dang it, Georgia. You weren't supposed to tell. Sometimes it just happens, you know. We get too busy in the work and we forget food exists. But we're fine. We're alive. And then we were planning on giving her a blessing, right? We start getting things set up. And the nerve. Elder Bringerhoff points at me. He's like, all right, Elder Houghton, go for it. And I'm like, are you out of your mind? I kind of just, I was terrified. Like, this would be my first actual figure out what the heck I'm doing blessing. Like, yeah, I gave blessings to my family. And I felt like they were good. It's just I wasn't sure what I was doing, you know? Like, I kind of had an idea, but ever since I've been out here and all these experiences and seeing how these other blessings go, I kind of just sat there like, oh, shoot. Would it be a good blessing? Do I know what I'm doing? And I realized I wasn't getting out of it. So I'm like, okay, I just need to calm down. Just let my mind clear. Just go for it. Did the blessing. It was short. After Georgia said I did really good, I'm just taking their word for it. I'm just going to take their word for it. But I thought it was pretty okay. But I just have faith that it helps her. Yeah. And then came back and started cleaning up because we had an apartment assessment Saturday. We did, and then Saturday we woke up, we cleaned more, had the assessment. It actually went really well. They actually loved our apartment. Then we had daily planning. And we had Panda there. We drove up to Collierville because we were getting ready for Cooper's baptism. Had Panda, then parked at the church for a little bit because we were there early. I read in the Book of Mormon a little bit more, and then I took a nap in the car. And then set up for the baptism, got everything ready. Baptism was really good. I almost cried a couple times. And I accidentally broke the key to lock it up. Whoops. It apparently ended up being the wrong key that we were using the entire time, even though I was managed to lock a double door with it. I don't know. It was weird. Then when we went to Old Charlie's, which was some restaurant, had dinner there with everyone. And then sent out a couple texts after and talked with Michelle about faith and all that. It was pretty good. And then yesterday, Sunday, so it was only 1 hour of church today because Pentecostal needed their building early. So we're like, all right, have it. And we only had the primary program today, and we had donuts at that primary program yesterday and had donuts. Primary program was really good, though there was a lot of mic feedback issues. Ugh, that was bad. And they came back, took a nap for a little bit, and then had personal study. And then we went to the Morrisons, had a finding activity to help us be able to bring others closer to Christ and all. And we got a pretty big list off of that. It was pretty good. And then came back and we watched Joseph Smith, The Prophet of the Restoration. It's an hour-long movie about all the historical events that how the church was made, and how it came to be. I almost cried a couple times too. Yay, emotional. And then we were supposed to have dinner with the Kahlers on Sunday, but that ended up not even happening. So we went up to the Roswells, had dinner there, and then gave them a card and a little analogy with golf tee. It was pretty cool. And then we talked with, and after that we went to Sister Taylor's and we talked with her for a little bit. And yeah, that was just my week. And I don't know who will see these records. I know my family will, because they see it all the time. But if any of my friends see this in the future, or my kids, my future kids, or my grandkids, one thing before I close, I'm way over, but one thing I want you to know: my siblings, my kids, my grandkids, one thing: don't let anyone attack the path that you're on if you're trying to be the best you can be. If you're being the best you can be and trying to be the best person and doing the things which you're supposed to do, you're doing a good job then. If anyone's attacking you with that, don't let them. You're on your path. You're not perfect. They're not perfect. Why should they attack you for that? That's all I'm going to say. I love you all. See you next week.